Michael Coleman and
Okay, what do you want?
oh, down there on me.
I don't know. Where would you?
A warrant.
Huh? A warrant?
Trying to come by my house about me stealing something.
When?
A pocketbook. Today.
When was they by there?
About 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm at 2239 Shannon.
2239 what?
Shannon.
Shannon?
Yeah. In Hollywood.
Where'd they go by and look for you at? Over there in Shannon?
Yeah.
I'll check with them. I'll have them come back by there, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, somebody looking for somebody on Shannon.
Not that I know of.
He said police is over there looking for him something about a purse snatch. He's back over there on Shannon.
That's been day shift. We ain't been over there at all today.
All right, I'll send you a ticket on it.
128, complained at 239 Shannon. Male named Coleman advised that he just arrived home and neighbors stated that the police were there looking for him earlier in regards to some purse snatch. He's there, wants to try to get it straightened out. As far as we know, it was on the day shift. We have no calls on it ourselves. 2239 Shannon. 147, want me to pour down that way?
On January the 11th, 1983, approximately 9 p.m., police received a call about alleged purse snatching incident. Michael Coleman, which was 18 at the time, made a phone call to the police after he was accused of a crime in an attempt to clear his name of any wrongdoing.
You go west on Hurt from Hollywood, or you go north on Hyde Park from Chelsea and run into 2200 blocks of Shannon.
The call Coleman had made led officers Robert Heston and Ray Schwill to 2239 Shannon Street, where they encountered homeowner Lindberg Sanders, 49, his son Larnell Sanders, 26, and a host of other young black men, ages ranging from 18 to 29 years of age, in what would be an event that would change Memphis police protocol and leave a bloodstain on Memphis history with its tragic series of events.
142 scene. Shots fired on the scene now. Shots fired, 2239 Shannon. 47 scene. We got one ambulance. Get an ambulance.
Lindberg Sanders, 49, was a husband and father, and what police alleged to be an occultist leader who seemingly had a deep resentment towards law enforcement. He, along with several other men, including his son Larnell Sanders, were at the Shannon Street home during an investigation made by Officers Schwill and Heston. They were approached by the two cops, and by this time, half the men at the home left the scene, leaving both the Sanders, Michael Delane Coleman, 18, Earl Thomas, 20, Andrew Houston, 18, David Lee Jordan, 29, and Cassell Harris, 21.
Okay, the officer is down. Shots were fired. The officer appears to be okay on the scene. Okay, 102. 4 scene. 102, 104 scene. 127, now we got officers inside the house still pinned down. We're going to need some more cars.
As Schwill and Heston arrived at the Sanders property, by Schwill's account described as walking into an ambush. A fight broke out between the man and the cops. Schwill, who suffered a facial gunshot wound from the melee, was able to escape the altercation, leaving his fellow officer Heston to be subdued by the man. When Schwill made it to the police vehicle, he made a frantic call for backup via police dispatch, which initiated a 30-hour standoff between the alleged cult and the Memphis Police Department.
Okay, officers are inside the house, 2239 Shannon, are pinned down. Do need some more units on the scene. Okay, 190. 65. 165. 163. 63. What do you want? Somebody in the back of the house. I mean, somebody in the back of the house. Made a call in the rear of the house, seal the house. 191, tell the attack unit started. Okay, attack unit is being started.
emergency assistance. The first law enforcer that responded to call for backup at the Shannon Street home was met with gunfire and was struck upon entering the home.
400 shots in the house. We are going to go in. They shot Okay, 121 advised the shots are being fired inside the house.
The second officer to respond emptied his service revolver rounds in the home as he made entry. Once done firing, he hurried back to his police vehicle to extract a police-issued 12-gauge shotgun and continued to fire upon the home that Officer Heston was being involuntarily held up in.
Inside. They do have a black male inside. 120 there's 4 or 5 people inside the house along with the 2 officers. They got the officers pinned down inside the house.
MPD on the scene tried negotiating with Sanders and his alleged followers after hearing Officer Hester delivering messages from the suspects to the police via uniform radio as he pleaded for his life while in agony.
The officer advised which officer is inside, which car number is inside the house. 101, you'll be 128. Officer Hester, they also have officer's radio. The officers from 128 inside, they do have his radio.
From injuries sustained over the course of the standoff. The only demand that was made from the men holding Hester hostage was to be broadcasted on live radio by a Memphis disc jockey named Mr. Morgan. Police say it was an attempt to murder Hester live on air by Sanders. So, the request was never granted. After 30 hours of negotiating between the MPD and the man in the home came to no resolution, combined with Heston's overwhelming screams over the police radio. Memphis SWAT unit, headed by Officer McNair, was sent into Sanders' homes to rescue Officer Hester. Armed with firearms, flashbang grenades, and tear gas, the TAC unit once inside wasted no time trying to find the armed assailants and to extract Hester from the home. After a hail of gunfire, tear gas clouded the Shannon home. Once the fumes and smoke settled, all who were inside at the time of the raid laid lifeless.
All 2 officers has been shot. Officer Schwill is on the way to the hospital now. Check 102. The squad car is taking off. 1 officer en route to the hospital now. Is there an officer in the rear of the house? Is any officer in the rear of the house now? 3132 and 3133 has the rear.
Onlookers say moments after the gunfight between the SWAT and the alleged cult ended, there were 2 gunshots approximately every 10 seconds for a number of 6 times. The bodies of the captives laid in a row neatly from head to toe, all with gunshot wounds to the head and to the upper limbs. The body of Officer Hester was found near a bed with multiple stab wounds, and his body showed signs of being beaten. Alright, I'm about to get into like a couple of discrepancies that I wanted to get into, because I feel like a lot of the story hasn't been told in certain versions of the story hasn't been released, and these are my opinions on it. The first thing I want to talk about was the call Michael Coleman made to MPD. Now, my personal opinion on that, I don't know what that was about. Like, and it could be viewed as a situation of being a setup. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody who knows me personally know damn well, man, look, the police guy gonna get me. I'm not calling no police for nothing. Like, them folk gotta pull up and do what they gotta do. Cause I don't care what I done heard. If they looking for me, they can find me. They'll know where to find me at. I'm not gonna be hiding. But especially if I know I ain't did nothing. But you gonna have to come find me. I'm sorry, I'm not going down like that. And then anybody who knows um, the MPD in any type of capacity, you know how they coming. And it's just dead on that. Like, you already know how they coming. So it, I don't see no other reason. Like, I don't see no really clear cut reason why would they be called to try to straighten the situation out. I just don't get it. The second thing I wanted to talk about was Officer Ray Schwill. They said he had a way about himself where he would try to talk like a urban black person when he's approaching a situation dealing with urban black people. You know, try to talk with the slang and and the bonics and whatnot. And basically, there could be a insult to certain people. And I guess Mr. Sanders took that, to heart. And that's what they said. There was a different version of events that they said that's what thing that sparked it. And it has been on record that Officer Ray Schwill does that. Now, whether he does that to try to, speak the language of the hood, or trying to do it in a way of being condescending, you know. Either way is disrespectful, and also it's like, bruh, you insulting us on our land, trying to play with us like that. So, you know, and things could transpire right then and now. It could have popped off right then and now, and it ultimately ended up with a gunshot to the face. Um, but there's neither here nor there. Third thing was the situation of Lindberg Sanders actually having a cult. Now, I've did my due diligence research. I've went through a lot of things. Um, and in every single mainstream, they say that he was a religious cult leader. He was mentally ill. His wife confirmed that he was mentally ill, but nobody confirmed the fact that he was a cult leader, and nobody could basically put a name to the actual cult that he had. There's nobody could say, yeah, this that was called a such and such or nothing. There's nothing there for that. But they did say that he called himself the Black Jesus, and that he didn't like law enforcement at all, and which is a understandable thing when you coming up in Memphis, especially in North Memphis. And if you're from here, you know what I'm talking about. But is no, and anybody who can find out what religious cult, what was the name of the religious cult that Mr. Lindberg Sanders had, get down in the comments and let me know, because I want to know my damn self. Because I looked it up and I didn't see anything. And what else I wanted to cover? Also, what I wanted to cover is when they raided the house, I want to see the autopsy of Officer Ray Heston. I want to see Hester. I want to see why he died. What is the cause of death? I think that'll open up a whole another can of worms. And I also want to know why were there 2 shots between 5 and 10 seconds, and the bodies of the captors of Officer Heston, why were they laid like head to toe, and why every single one of them had a gunshot to the head and also to the upper limb, like to the hand, to the wrist, things of that nature, and nobody explained it. And one thing about officers and whatnot, like, they're not assassins like that. They not finna just headshot you like that. It's not nothing like that. They gonna come in. They gonna majority give you body shots multiple times. But these people, they done been shot in the head and the upper limb. So it's kind of like a execution style, so to speak. I want to know, how did that happen? Like, how did everybody get a headshot? I don't understand that. Another thing, before I get up out of here, Lindberg Sanders, the wife of Mr. Lindberg Sanders, said their child, Lindberg Sanders, 26, he was shot in the head, like either beginning or midway during the standoff. He was shot in the head by a police officer. And they never mentioned it. They never mentioned it. Like, they never mentioned it at all. Yeah. So, therefore, there could have been a situation where everything popped off from there too. And we'll never know. We'll never know. And another thing that they tried to reach out to the radio station, to a DJ, to speak to a DJ. Now, they said, the police officers said they refused the request because they felt like they were trying to kill Officer Heston live on air, like on radio. I feel like if I'm gonna kill somebody, I'd rather do it live on television. If I'm trying to make some type of point, I'm not gonna. If you gonna do it, you gonna thug it all the way out. Long story short, like, you just gonna thug it all the way out. I don't think that they was trying to kill Officer Heston over the radio. I don't think that was the situation, because if it was, Officer Heston had his radio on him, and they could have easily, recorded themselves killing him over the police radio and sending it out to the MPD, because actually the last insert of the audio, I think, was Lindberg Sanders speaking on Officer Heston radio. So I feel like if they would have killed him, or if they was trying to kill him on radio, they would have did it over the MPD radio. And that's all my time for you. Now I'm about to get up out of here. Made in Memphis. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And let me know what y'all think. Peace.